Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Tuesday, March 5th, 2024. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, along with the altcoins over there. We take a peek over there at the United States stock market, which is set to open up in the next 2 minutes, along with taking a look over there at precious metals like gold and silver and the United States dollar currency index, or the DXY. Lastly, we wrap it up with taking a look over there at financial news and any type of crypto news that is going on out there in the day. And then, of course, we just kind of goof off for about a half an hour at the very end. So welcome to Markets in the Morning. Welcome to Bitcoin at $67,500, getting just within a hair of touching its all-time high last night. There was some interesting price action if you were watching it live. Of course, I was. I always remember this is called no sleep season. This is where you're laying in your bed. You're supposed to be going to sleep, but you have your phone blasting right in your face with your screen, looking at the charts, looking at the action going on in the market. And you're running on about 4 hours of sleep night after night after night. Welcome. This is what typically does happen in these times. But looking over here, Bitcoin got within just an absolute hair yesterday. Not quite getting there, but got really close. I noticed some interesting behavior that happened in the market. I'm trying to figure out where we should start. We got so much we could look at in here. That ended up happening like with Ethereum. So yesterday, Ethereum cracked through the 702 Fibonacci retracement level. It was really interesting because this is a little goofy chart that I was showing the 702 crew last night. Just kind of like, it's really just got the top coins by market cap in here and a couple other ones in there. But you can kind of see what actually happened with the market. And like, we can look at the timing of when this actually ended up happening right here on a really small time frame here. When it gets right here through this retracement level here, right at, 347 UTC time. If I can find the chart that I just brought in here. There you go, 347 UTC. I've got it marked right here. And you can just see that the second that Ethereum cracks through there, you could see the market just lift. And I found that to be very interesting, because then, of course, moments later, we actually saw Bitcoin fall back. And that was, like a little extra pivotal movement that had happened here in the market at the time when that occurred. So I thought that was pretty cool to see that happen. I'm not cheering for Bitcoin to get pushed back. I meant the reaction there happening with the market and the timing of those things actually occurring in there. That was pretty cool. Otherwise, we got mostly a green day over here in the crypto market. You got others up 2.5%. You do have Bitcoin down 1%. You got Ethereum up 3.5%, almost 4% up there for Ethereum this morning. Now the big question is Bitcoin going to stall out here at the all-time high? Most cases it does. So, of course, we're met with a million different things of, is it going to be a double top? Is it going to do like what everybody thinks it's going to do, where they think it's going to go roaring off into a bull run? I keep expressing that a lot of the things are very different in the environment right now compared to past bull runs when it comes to loose financial conditions. One of those other ones, of course, that I'm staring at like a hawk has been gold, absolutely ripping up there at 2,131. So the only time it was ever higher than this was overnight trading that happened one time where it ripped to the upside. I think at 2148 is the highest it has gotten in here. Let's look at futures. There you go. Just like a hairline there, 2152, and gold futures at 2140. So we're getting very close there on gold. Of course, we have these things happening where you have these extensions up here at these stock extensions, of course, all sitting right here at this time. You got the Dow getting knocked back today, down 134 points to start the day off. The NASDAQ down 144. You got the S&P down 20. Looking over here, at the stock market, the only thing in the green there is GE. You got a bunch of red in there. You got gold trying to threaten to break out. I've written about this in recent newsletters. I don't think it's this one right here, but in past ones, the one prior to this, we talked about a lot about gold, and I've wrote about gold over a year ago as well. That this is usually not the thing you want to see if you are an equity bull or crypto bull. Every single Bitcoin bull run has been accompanied by not only equity markets, not only expansion, which we talked about last week, but it's also followed by all of this. This is what has happened in each breakout for Bitcoin. 2013 bull run, 2017 bull run, 2020 and 21 bull run. You are getting wrecked. Gold is getting wrecked. In that when these things happen, these are typically the opposite of what people are looking for when it comes to saying, hey, we're going to start a whole new cycle here for Bitcoin. So there's still those things sitting out there. I'm watching a lot of the signs over there in the altcoin market to see if we start seeing significant outperformance, and of course retraces come in here and everything like that. And if this does end up being some type of triple top coming in here. For me, as I've mentioned, my interest is not in Bitcoin. I've talked a lot about this. One of the newsletters that I've written was talking a lot about the development activity coins. When you go back into 2020 and 2021 and start doing the comparisons of saying, why did the market behave the way it did? Why did only 22% of coins touch new all-time highs? What did they have consistently similar to each other? And you recognize that from the basket of higher development activity coins, they performed 3 times better than the basket of the top 20 by market cap. And so you go through it and you look here to say what else is different. And I posted about this over there on Twitter yesterday. This has been the others, right? So there's the entire cryptocurrency market, excluding the top 10 happening in here. And we can look here. Let's add Bitcoin on top. And I'll put you wrong one. There we go. What you can see in here is as Bitcoin goes back to its all-time high, this is the rally back to the all-time high back in 2016. So this is the big push right back in here. That's the big rally of where Bitcoin shoots back to the all-time high. Let me see if I can pull it up. Which chart am I willing to lose? Here, I'll just bring this one in. Hold on one second. I want to give you the true image of it here. If it wants to load. Okay, anyway. This is the rally back to the all-time high for Bitcoin right back in here. And it goes from August right here through December. It's the big monster rally that takes place for Bitcoin. You can see in here, this is the introduction of Ethereum, so it just kind of gets added. But you can see the whole market does get kind of punished while Bitcoin rallies back up to the all-time high. That was also the case back here in 2020. You could see the dominance getting absolutely pummeled here of everything excluding the top 10, while Bitcoin goes into that big push back to the all-time high. Notice, that did not happen here, right? The dominance bottomed in June of last year. The market still continued to rally up. And that's what's been very interesting. And I keep saying, I'm not that interested in Bitcoin. And of course, Bitcoiners take it as, how dare you? It's all based on math for me. This is completely a math game. And looking and isolating it and figuring out why was there massive differences in performance in 2021, massively different. And things that got left behind late didn't tend to do as great as stuff that went, early. And figuring that out, that it was all the development activity stuff. The development activity of those 20 from that newsletter that was written there on October 30th, 14 out of 20 have outperformed Bitcoin during this whole thing. The average of the 20 from the development activity group has been 137% versus Bitcoin's 96%. That's a vastly different environment than when we look at back in 2020. So in 2020, in the rally back to the high, Bitcoin crushes it. Others, 11%. Bitcoin rallies back to the all-time high, right? 158%. Others beats Bitcoin. So there's a different dynamic going on here in the market, and I don't think people are paying attention to that it is so different than what occurred in 2020 and here in 2016. And so for me, it's, I think to myself, okay, well, we're going to continue looking for things and signs that could say the market is playing different than what the general public does deem to think that it is going to do. Here we go. But we're here. And then there was also, even in addition to that, just that little flip of the switch that happened. Oh boy, I shouldn't say that word. That little triggering event that happened where Ethereum cracked through the 702 last night. Also sent more of them going even higher. Of course, we all know lots of these are high development coins up in here. So pretty big moves happening in there. So it's definitely an interesting environment right now. And we'll see how Bitcoin can react here at these highs. As for Ethereum, again, Ethereum had gotten through right in here throughout the evening. So hip, hip, hooray. XRP still just waddling along, waiting to say, is it going to be my turn? I see everybody pointing over there at Shib over there online, right? Shib was one of those ones we had the Wyckoff accumulation structure on. We had it nailed. Again, the spring phase bottomed again at the end of the safety trade, again, like that others chart. But people have been posting things about Shib. Of course, there's those warning signs, and you guys have been tagging me in them, that people are getting text messages left and right. How do I go buy Shib? I'm getting tagged in that. I'm seeing them in chat rooms. I'm seeing it on Bloomberg about Shib. To always kind of remember, like, these aren't the things that happen at the beginning of cycles, right? These are never. These are always things that are happening in the thick of the chaos and the thick of the moment. And so, accumulation is so far behind us, right? Accumulation is just so long behind us. Now it's all about, and I know the newcomers won't want to hear that. It's all about, pulling money now. It's all about making the money and pulling money. Whereas, the accumulation was during the rough times. Yeah. Well, what a ride it is. And what do you know? In phase E, we're on the news about Shib, everybody. So, all right, there you go. Total almost all the way up to the 786 Fibonacci retracement level in here. Looking over at broader markets, the United States dollar currency index, not a whole lot going on over here. Again, the big thing looking at over there has been gold and silver and how those metals are reacting over there as the gold is really attempting to get through there. So definitely on my toes. The general consensus is this is a bull market for everything. Again, they're just at such critical levels that it's very normal for the retail crowd to say this is a bull market, and we've been ringing the siren a lot up in here. And you do have these elements happening in here. I've written all about this in Substack. And pretty sure it was included pretty detailed too as well last Friday on the video that I put out. That was 30 minutes long. This is something that we may look back on and say the signal was happening. And so what will be really interesting too is a lot of times catalysts arrive, and that's the thing that I'm definitely on edge about. If a catalyst ever arrives here, you always hear the story, you always hear the terms, show me a chart and I'll tell you the news. A catalyst, of course, is going to be all the things people say, oh, if the catalyst didn't happen, this would have never occurred. I'm keeping a very, very close eye on any type of catalyst at this point. But as we get the day going, NASDAQ down 176, Dow Jones down 192. Of course, the Dow Jones did get just barely. NASDAQ did poke slightly above the 4.236, but the Dow still struggles right at it and pulling back from it today. No breaks happening over here on the RTY or on the Russell 2000 just yet. Again, we pointed to this. There's no expansion in the stock market. It's been expansion in every Bitcoin break out into a new bull run. There's just no expansion happening here yet. Hopefully that shows up, but there's just no sign of it. Looking over there at financial news, Biden to launch joint FTC DOJ task force to crack down on unfair and illegal pricing. Okay. Apple iPhone sales plunged 24% in China as Huawei smartphone business resurges. Report says oil prices fall as market shrugs off China growth pledge. OPEC Plus production cuts. Clean property private lenders could be Trump's best option to get $540 million for legal judgments. We just got political stuff today, huh? China sets ambitious growth target despite their challenges. Apple's iPhones struggle in China. China's bullish 5% growth goal seen as target without a plan. China's ambitious growth plan leaves investors wanting more. All right, more election stuff happening in here. Move over to crypto. Crypto liquidations crossed $550 million as Bitcoin remains volatile ahead of historic highs. We'll go ahead and pull that up over here. We'll look over here at CoinGlass. They have it right here. You can see shorts and longs have been getting liquidated quite a bit over here over the last 10 days. Lots of volatility, lots of big bets, lots of degen trading, high risk, high reward style trading has been getting attempted here in the crypto market. Pretty typical stuff. But yeah, a lot of liquidations happening in there. So that's the 500 million right there in the last 24 hours. 250 million of it being long, 282 million of it being short. There you go. Bitcoin ETF issuer VanEck has huge crypto growth goals in Europe. That's all you get from CoinDesk. It's been this rough with CoinDesk ever since day one, since we've been doing this. All right, Binance to seize all Nigerian transactions by March 8th. Bitcoin traders dismiss a triple top as Bitcoin price stops $150 from 69K. Asia Express, 383 million for Hong Kong Crypto Hub. APAC exchanges expand and Digital One bridge. Bitcoin just hit a record in open interest. Expect imminent volatility. I saw somebody, we'll get to it, they asked about funding rates being high. Funding rates have been high for quite a while. Bitcoin just hit, cats versus dogs. Animal meme coins surged quadruple digits over the past month. Things that don't happen in the early phases, okay? Things that don't happen in the beginning. SEC pushes back BlackRock and Fidelity spot Ethereum ETF proposals. MicroStrategy set to raise $600 million via convertible notes to buy more Bitcoin. Bitcoin daily withdrawals challenge records as 2 billion leaves exchanges. Tether's USDT stablecoin hits historic $100 billion market cap. Why are Bitcoin traders bearish above 64K? 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. When I go on Twitter, it doesn't look like that. It looks like wildness. But here we go. Can we get it today? We're gonna be dang close to it. But there you go. Moving over here. We've got a lot of green in the market. Still, it's altcoins taking it for the day, but Bitcoin looks like it might attempt to stab, at least while we're watching it here right now. So maybe you can say, where were you on March 5th, 2024? I was in markets in the morning. So, all right, there you go. There you have it for the day. Altcoin market's doing great. We saw a bigger pop happen the second Ethereum got through its 702 retracement last night. Is where we saw a pop. Shib, there's nothing really to talk about with Shib. I mean, I get it. It's very popular right now. Of course, it's straight lined up. This is one of the ones that I written a tweet about with Wyckoff accumulation back in the summer. I did just update the thread. Massive jump out of here. Unfortunately, this is of course now going to be where retail does buy it. This was the accumulation. That was the victory lap. Now, anything after this, you're pretty much insane. It had a massive 50% just crack happen back there overnight over there on Coinbase. It was not as dramatic over there on Binance. But beyond that, you're asking for all-time highs. I'm not saying you won't. I mean, it's crazy. It's on the news. But just beyond this point now, it's really just if you're buying it after it's up 400% in a week, you might be crazy. You just might be nuts. All right. There you go. We'll get back on Bitcoin. Keep an eye on it over here. There you go. That's the big watch over here for today is going to be Bitcoin up back in that battle. Anything else to cover over here before we get started, before we hop in the chat? We got about a 20-minute monologue today. I think that pretty much covers it. I think Ethereum getting through there was really kind of the big marker of interest that we saw last night. Like I just showed over here, there was some action that took place right there. And we'll see if that becomes a continued push back to altcoins continuing. So, okay. There you have it. Welcome to your Tuesday, March 5th, the day Twitter might go wild. All right, let's go ahead and hop into the chat. And this is the question I was talking about earlier. Tukulitz says, hello, funding rates are crazy high right now. Do you think it's still possible for XRP to make a big move, or market makers have the flush to leverage first? Don't know which will come first, right? I would hope it would get moving because you just structurally have everything that you really look for things to get moving out. Any type of breaks down in here would just be really, really ugly. Not a positive thing to see happen in the market. So I don't think we will. But funding rates have been high for quite some time, right? People say, oh, it's not that bullish. The funding rates tell you. People are gambling extremely high to be able to continue longing the market right now. The order of operations, I would hope we'd get the break first, and maybe some type of back test comes with a leverage flush. Philip Mann gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much. Philip stakes at 135. It says, could this entire Bitcoin structure since April 2021 be a Wyckoff up thrust after distribution? Unlikely. It would just be so wide, right? Right. I mean, the thing is, like, whether it gets out, I mean, I cheer for it to get out, right? But you know where you are, all these economic things that are happening in here, all these concerns that are happening in here. These things are all mandatory for all of Bitcoin's bull runs, 2013, 17, and 2021. It's been expansion in markets. It's been the decimation of gold. And it's been at zero federal funds rates. And that's one of the things that like crypto Twitter just has totally backwards. That Fed rate cuts are bullish. I mean, that's just not true. What has been bullish for Bitcoin during its entire bull run, there's Bitcoin. I just took it off. Okay. I didn't mean to do that either. Holy cow. Undo that. There you go. All of Bitcoin's bull runs and breakouts have occurred during, right? Zero bound federal funds rates or 0.25. So here's the break of the last one, right? There you go. You hit the new all-time high down here at like 0.25% on the Fed funds rate. And then you go break into the all-time here, you're this. So the misappropriated wording out there is that rate cuts are bullish. But the actual rate cutting environment is actually horrid. It's actually decimation of markets that happens in that because those rates are getting cut to loosen up financial conditions to stimulate an economy that's doing bad. And we're typically seeing markets sell off. So zero bound rates or very low interest rates and loose financial conditions are positive for Bitcoin to go into bull runs, but not the cutting. And so everybody always says cuts are good because they want that zero bound rate. But what comes first? It's always this stuff right in here, right? It's always this stuff right in here and what happens to markets in those environments when we have the actual cuts. So it's not cuts that are bullish. It's what happens after when all the dust is settled and the decimation is completed and things have been pummeled and wrecked and destroyed. and that then they're printing money and they've got zero bound rates and loose financial conditions, and we're getting stimulus checks and we're firing bazooka cannons of money at the markets. That's when it's bullish. It's not bullish during the actual cuts happening in here. So the big question becomes, your question is it Wyckoff accumulation? Or Wyckoff distribution? It would just be so wide, right? It would just be so wide that I wouldn't see it. But I mean, I'm also not convinced still. It was, right. Of course, I'm in the altcoin market, right? Like for Bitcoin, it just doesn't matter to me on how, how percentage wise, Bitcoin going up. I mean, even the $200,000 crew, the math on it, like let's say you are a 200,000 crew, your goal is 200%. That's not for me. It's just not for me. I've been here long enough. I know how we can have one day where the whole market will wipe out 50% of itself in one day. So if I'm going to be playing in that type of volatility, I'm after bigger numbers in here. But I'm not fully convinced this thing's going into a big, giant, massive bull run. But I don't see Wyckoff accumulation in here. I mean, we'll see if it can set a new high. But I also, even with it right now, I mean, my wording could get totally wrecked and destroyed in 5 minutes from right now if it gets through the all-time high here. But right, crazy as it is, it's still at a retracement, which is bizarre, right? Like it still isn't in the high. Once we get into the high, we're officially out of it. Then the tons of questions become, what is the structure that is happening here for Bitcoin? And I spend so much time in the data that it is a very murky picture. It is very murky. The most easiest thing to do is to sit there and say 4-year cycles, even though it's been 3. And the last cycle was only 3 years. There's still the general consensus of the market does not understand the last cycle was only 3 years. And right now we're only 3 years as well. But it's still 4 years, but trying to figure out how we're going to go from here. And I am definitely seeing things that are just kind of like, we're up here. We're at the high. The Dow's at the 4.236. The Dow's down 223 today. The Nasdaq's down 220. Gold is trying to break out into new all-time highs. We'll see, man. We'll see. But boy, that'd be a wide Wyckoff. It would be like a Wyckoff that would have to be going on for probably years on end, right? Like you would be looking at upthrust, right? I mean, God, I don't even know that would last. That would be so long, and I don't think so. Here we go. Are we gonna get it? We're now within dollars. Dr. Ty, I just encountered a top indicator yesterday in a friend chat with a group of people who know nothing about crypto. Someone posted Shib Inu has been up 50% and it's time to buy. That's what it is. Shib Inu. Why is price going up? Because people are buying. Well, why are people buying? Well, because price is going up. Mr. Q, it's amazing how we got here. So far, thanks BCB for everything. You're an amazing person. I hope we hit a new all-time high for XRP. I believe Bitcoin tops at 75 to 80K. Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys pick the top calls for right now. There's too many things for me I'm looking at with Bitcoin to confidently do that. CP nasty. I've been buying gold on Aru. It's been on the App Store. Do you prefer sorting gold at the bank or storing it for you? Thoughts on gold over the next 3 years? Safety deposit box. Okay. Gold. I mean, here's the deal with gold. Gold is going to be the signal that the market is getting wrecked, right? So like the gold play is really just a hedge play against financial turmoil in the stock market, and that the charts all show that. So if you're buying gold, I mean, that's not, again, the narratives are very different for it, but when you look at what happens in markets, you're buying it. There's probably going to be economic turmoil, and that's why you're buying it. Also, if you look at when the Fed does cut rates, again, the misconception in the markets is that the Fed actually cutting is bullish for stocks and bullish for crypto. It's actually a period where equities are getting hammered pretty bad, and the one time we have it with crypto was getting hammered pretty bad, but gold did very well on that. So that's kind of your play there if you're going to be going after gold. Right. First thing you'd have to see is there going to be financial turmoil in actual markets, and if there is, then there you go. And the thing about gold too, and I don't want to get off the screen because I know we have Bitcoin getting very, very close right here. Gold can be your signal that things are turning around. Gold breaking out can be your signal. But when liquidations actually do happen in markets, even though gold gets a breakout, when the actual liquidation hits and everything is just getting pummeled in the markets at that point where it's automatic forced selling and margin calls that are happening throughout the whole market, gold gets hit in that moment too. So it's not immune to that. Everything gets sold off, and even in that margin call, gold does as well. So, what happened, after that, that's the big question. But yeah, it's my hedge. I own it. Lotoro Parada. Thanks BCB for the crash pattern insight on XRP and the S&P 500. And it is a similar trend in ETFs. ARK, Clean Energy bonds, all of them post all-time high. May you check them. Cheers. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to pull all those up right now. Yeah, they're all at the ending phases of accumulation schematics, right? And so it's the same thing that's going on with the Russell 2000. I still have that open up here. I should, right? It's essentially this, right? Full crash, Wyckoff, now in sign of strength, but it needs to break out, right? And you see those things in other things like ARK and stuff. Thank you, Lataro. Craig, my man, thank you very much. He says, hey, BCB, would it be possible to show the time frames of XRP breakout after Bitcoin all-time high, similar to have you shown Bitcoin breakout after Dow Jones 30 all-time high? Yeah. I don't want to get off the screen for Bitcoin, though. What do? I'll move Bitcoin up here. Sorry, I hard swallowed. I'm so critical of people who hard swallow into a microphone. And I was doing it yesterday, and I just did it right now. I'm going to work on that. That's why I like editing videos. You guys don't ever get to hear me breathe. I'm just doing run-on sentences and nonstop, and I cut out every breath that I have. You definitely don't hear any throat clearings or anything like that. So I'm trying to work on that. I'm aware of it. Let's see. There you go. Should we set a dinger in case it does it? Here's what we'll do. We'll set a little dinger. There you go. Now you got a dinger in case that does happen here. And we're looking down here and I'm not paying attention. Right. So what we've had happen in here is structurally mimicked really the same price behavior of what we've had back. At least the climb back up has been very similar to that of 2016, right? We may be flipping back to this guy here in a second and not focusing on this, right? You can see as it's back up here at the highs, right? There you go. There you go. It's actually in this pull down. It's in this pull down that you actually see price fire off in here for the first round. That's where the first fire off happens when it's pulling down. That's something I'm looking for too in other assets. I've got multiple things I am following that I don't show on the stream all the time. That if they started taking off and they reach certain price levels, and I have reference points in the past to say, hey, this was also the marker of the top. Those things haven't gotten there yet. So far, okay. How's Ethereum doing? 38.16, excuse me. XRP, how are you doing? Just 65. Who's leading? Stark, Shib, ICP, Crow, OP, IOTA, Ethereum Classic, Arbitrum, Uniswap, Casper, DOT. This one right here, right? Story is, right, what happens? Bitcoin gets back to its all-time high, and then boom, you fire off, and it shoots off from 30 cents all the way up to 79 cents here, right? This is the actual break of the all-time high. SEC comes in and sues Ripple, and all the exchanges have to delist XRP right in here. So bad reference point for here, because the biggest devastating event occurs right here immediately upon a break the all-time high. Boom, there we go. There was a poke through the all-time high on Coinbase for Bitcoin. Where were you, 4,700 people? We were right here. Holy cow. Amazing. There it goes. 69. There you go. There we go. Look at the chat. $69.29, 69.026. Look at it on the 1 minute chart. How about that? There you go. Let's see if there's any reactions happening over here on that other thing that I had. Hold on, where is it? Where are you? What time did we just hit through it? We just got, it hits it right here at 15:02. I'm going to mark this so we always know. 15:02. How does the market respond to it? And we'll check back on it in minutes later. What a ride, man. 2022 to 2023. I guess we say it 2024 as well. What a ride. There's the moment that it happened. Will we be able to play frogs? All right. Do you guys want the frogs? I think I could do the frogs. Y'all want it? Okay, hold on. Let's go find it. I do fear that this is also the top marking, right? But it's not more of like, hey, we're going to the moon, frogs. This is, hey, look, what a ride it was through 2022 and 2023. There you go, 69 even. There you go, back below. Is it below? Below the all-time high. 68.6, 68.5, 68.4, 68.3, 68. No frogs. No frogs. 67.6. Boom. Market said not now. Not now. There's the crying in chat now. There you go. Not yet. Not yet. Touched it. Close. All right, we'll let it breathe for a minute, and then we'll hop in the chat and see what they said. You get back above it, I'll give you the frogs. You get back above it, I'll give you the frogs. Ooh, that was quick, huh? There's some sellers there, by the way. So, Craig, thank you very much. I think I got you covered there, man. You had asked what the timings of those were. Flagrantly obtuse, say BCB, been with XRP since 20 cents, but I'm wondering if there's anything in the charts that show XRP is prime for anything. I'm losing hope. Dang. You've had hope all the way since 2020. There's never been a period of not. Right. So, like, I mean, if there's any time to have any type of hope, it's in these environments. And I'm critical of that all the time, that, you know, all the storytelling, all the flipping of the switches, all that stuff. Like, you could go through the complete history of any type of price behavior for XRP. It is just like a normal altcoin in the cryptocurrency market when it moves. It completely 100% has its expansions, its growths happen with everything else, right? So are you in that environment where that can happen right now? Are the animal spirits alive? Do you see upward trajectories happening throughout the altcoin market? Absolutely. Is it running behind? You better believe it. That's always good. And is that normal? Unfortunately, yeah, it's very normal. And actually, I just showed that when we were looking at that chart just a minute ago when someone was asking about Bitcoin riding back up to its highs. And it's kind of like that. It's like what you just saw with Shib. 1 week ago, it was just a crummy beat down thing. 1 week later, it's up 400%, right? And that's just kind of how it goes when the animal spirits awaken. So are we in an environment? Yep, we're in an environment that would be positive for it. Not a flipping of the switch thing, which I've been critical of, but more of this is the kind of environment where things can happen. And Tim, new member, welcome. Man, I'm really behind. I'm about a half an hour behind. B says, hit the like, everybody. There we go. We got 5,000 people in here. We got 1,000 likes. If you guys could hit the like, please. Thank you. Bread Garlic House says, are you going to chase Ethereum? With Ethereum, I played it right around the 702 retracement. So it's not like I played it right under. It got through. I got right back in. So once we saw the clear break, and then once I saw this confirmation happening right here we go. Altcoins doing well. Look at that. All altcoins doing. Let's hold on. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Hold on. There you go. No, not everybody doing well. There you go. Whenever this happened right here, then that was the confirmation. So I played it right on the downside last night. And then once when it cracked through it, and then I watched the confirmation happen right in here. And then the rest of the market said, nope, we're good. So I'm actually in it. Again, Ethereum's one of those ones. A lot of stuff you'd have a lot of questions on whether it's going to have sustainability to it or not. Ethereum, the entire cryptocurrency market essentially is built on and connected to Ethereum. Bitcoin's more of a narrative. Ethereum, the tech is everywhere, interconnected to everything. Ryan Chase, although we aren't seeing expansion in lower cap stocks yet, it's a good sign that the Russell seems to be in a sign of strength phase, just like a lot of the altcoins. So here's the thing about it. Yeah, here's this, right? Sure. Okay, like you can look at it and you can say, yeah, it looks like it, right? But what if it only expands to a retracement level, right? The other thing to take notice of and to think about is that when the expansions happened and when Bitcoin went into its bull runs in 2013, 2017, and 2021, they were expanding at the same time. That's what I showed in Friday's video, that in 2020, in 21, the Russell and the Dow broke out together, right? So they go into the bear and then they break out on the same day. In 2016, as we go into the 2017 bull run, they both break out on the exact same day. And then when we go back to 2013's bull run, the Russell actually breaks out 60 days before the Dow, right? So that's like ultimate bull scenario, right? Like low caps are even leading the big caps. It's just expansion everywhere, go nuts, go crazy. And this is the first time out of all of them where this is the occurrence that is happening here, where it's super, super consolidated into the Magnificent Seven, right? Like the market is super consolidated, right? And that's very similar to what we had happen in crypto between May of 2021 and November of 2021. The market got really consolidated. 90% of coins in November did not exceed their April and May peaks. 90%. That's the same thing that's going on over here in the stock market right now, is that same environment. And while we could structurally look at that and say, yep, I mean, it could expand. It may only expand up to a retracement level. It's also like important to remember when the Dow went, this went. When the Dow went, this went. And then even the other circumstance, this actually went before the Dow. And so to be delayed, this is unlike anything in the last 20 years that is happening here. And according to like all the analysts online, this is exactly the kind of stuff that was happening at the peak of the dot-com bubble, and the type of stuff that was happening at the peak of the Roaring 20s before the Great Depression happened. Is this style of consolidation happening in a market where the breadth is completely collapsed on itself and it's super consolidated into just a few assets. So it's definitely something to think about. Ryan Chase gifted 5 BCB memberships. Ryan, thank you. Ben, does it still seem that alts have room to fly, or is Bitcoin here at the seeming top mean the game's over for everything? So Ben has found a fancy word to say, should I just sell everything immediately right now? That's what that question was. Does it seem that alts have room to fly, or does Bitcoin here at the seeming top mean the game's over for everything? So that's the question of, should I panic and sell everything at this exact moment? Historically, so the way I tried to explain it yesterday, like if we look to past tops and the topping behavior of the market, we know some of these altcoins haven't gotten the pops yet. Even if they're going to be depleted pops, they just haven't even gotten them yet. So no, I don't think the altcoin market is done. But like the way that I tried to explain it yesterday is that like kind of like you're at a concert right now. Think of like your favorite concert you've ever been to, the one that's in your memory. You know, you went to it 10 years ago with your buddies. It was awesome. You totally remember it. Like they're like an hour and a half into the show. You are jamming. They're playing like one of your favorite songs that was totally cool 20 years ago. True story. Like the ones I think of like being at like a Limp Bizkit show and they're like playing Faith. And they're like an hour and a half into the show. They're like, oh, dude, I remember this song from 1998. Dude, this was the bomb. Gotta have faith. And just the confetti is pouring down. Everybody knows the song. It's awesome. And that's like the moment you are all in right now, right? Then they're like, hey, we're going to play our last song. And you're like, right? And what happens with the last song is usually we pull down, right? And then everybody cheers for encore, encore, encore. And market rallies back up one more time. Altcoins usually run heavily into that moment. Bitcoin's usually not able to set the new peak. And then the show is actually over. They turn all the lights on. We all look at each other and we're like, "Ugh, you are a sweaty hot mess." And that's usually the end. And these are not for comparison size. I actually think the range would be significantly larger than this. But I don't even think we've gotten to the point yet where they're saying, hey, we're going to play our last song yet. So I don't even think we're there yet. So Big D says, I sold some Shib and I got back my initial investment. I'm guessing you've been like a multi-year Shib holder because it went up like 400%. You should, if you bought it at any point in the last year, you should have been, maybe, okay. You sold a little bit. Maybe you sold a quarter of it or something. Because, it was 400% in a week. Good job, dude. Rock and roll. All right. Burham Ali, we did not have an alt season last bull run. Yes, we did. So if Bitcoin hits a new all-time high, do we need to wait again until the peaks that retraces to get an alt season? Well, we've confirmed there was an alt season. This was it. Right in here. That was it. That was all you got. This thing right here, where 22% of the coins go into new all-time highs. So going forward now, that's the thing I keep reiterating, that everybody wants every coin to go firing off. If this is our new basis to go off of, is to say that you can have it to where only 22% of them do anything. And you better find the things in common that they have that give you a higher probability. So I've focused on developer activity. And that is why that group has outperformed Bitcoin. That 20 coin group has outperformed Bitcoin for the last 6 months. That was not some magic. I'm not some crazy like guru stock picker or coin picker, right? I'm not that. But I found the data that mattered, and it was the development activity data. And you could see it all right in here. Hold on. There you go. That's your alt season, right? That's the extent of it right there. Right? The big thing is, why didn't it get up here, right? And that's because we were already in a bear market. And that's also explains why are we all the way up here already when we are. It's because we all had to identify this mid-pack. Oops. The top of the market was actually there. So timing wise, you're actually not that off on a timing perspective to recognize this was the peak of your market. You had an alt season. You have a different market now. You do not have a market anymore.
where 90% of everything surges to the upside. You're going to have to pick wisely. That's why I've been doing all that writing and I've brought the sentiment guys onto the channel. I'm not sponsored by them, dude. That's a company. They're trying to make money. I'm not sponsored by them, but I brought them on here because they give away free data and it's helpful. That's why I show you guys the developer report on Electric Capital's developerreport.com. Free data. I can't tell you how many people commented on there on that sentiment video and said, I don't like this kind of stuff. This isn't interesting to me. I bet you wish you paid attention, dude. And Burnham, I'm not talking to you when I say that. I'm talking to a lot of people when I say that. So, and we've already seen movements. But here's what I really think, right? If Bitcoin typically tends to struggle up here at the highs, that's typically the behavior that ends up happening in here. And if that ends up being the case here, watching to see if the altcoins actually can catch some rally into here. And if we actually see a lot of altcoin rallying in here, it's essentially like getting those two waves, right? Kind of like something like this. Why do I keep closing out total 3? Right, where you're up here, right? But you're zooming up into here, into this whole kind of pullback happening in here. And then it pulls back and then you zoom up one more time. So it's really just does stay stalled in here. It just stays stalled and all the action is taking place in here. And so that's really the kind of thing that I'd be looking for in here. If we're at that point, right? If this thing goes breaking out, like 100 billion people think it's going to end up happening, we may get a whole lot more out of the altcoin market. I'm just not trying to get myself wrong-footed by that idea that it is going out there because of all of these things. Because of all that. All your bull runs take place during loose, irresponsible financial conditions. You don't have that right now. They all take place during expansions. You don't have that right now. They all take place when gold is getting decimated. You don't have that right now. So the idea of like this thing is soaring off into a multi-year cycle does not match any of Bitcoin's historical reference points. So for me, I have to continuously look at this thing of, do we have something like this show up? And that's the big thing, right? Right now, it hasn't shown up. So I just sit back kind of watching for some sign to show up. But even in this, it just distributes in here and this thing roars. This thing roars, right? During this moment right in here, there is no price change between Bitcoin. Look at the price change that happens in the altcoin market in here. Whereas there is no price change between here and here. So if that dynamic arrives, that's what we'll be screaming about. But until then, not yet. However, we did get an opportunity to see Bitcoin poke above the all-time high for 1 minute and then lose it. Sorry, I lost my place. I'm trying to find it. Nikki says, hey, BCB, thank you for all that you do. What's your thoughts on Bitcoin Cash? Do you think retest of all-time highs is possible? Thank you. Bitcoin Cash has fired all the way back up. That's one of the ones during 2022, 2023. I could never stop getting people ask me about Bitcoin Cash. You're up. You're up. You're back. I'm done. I don't want to talk about Bitcoin Cash anymore. You're all the way back. I'm freed from it, man. I don't want to talk about Bitcoin Cash anymore. Good luck. Good luck. It has no development activity. It's got no anything, but you got your price all the way back up. Love life. John Biddle. I bought Shib in November and I sold it today. Sold it to the herd. They want more than you. You'll never go broke taking profit. Win extra premium. Thanks, BCB. And that's the thing we talk about a lot in here is that like people will always tell you you're selling too early. You're selling too early. And who cares if you are? I'm going to tell you the straight up truth. You are not going to sell the top of anything. Nothing. It's not going to be you. Everybody listening, I'm telling you right now, it is not going to be you. So you're going to have to psychologically go ahead and figure out how do you stop yourself from caring? How can you handle it? If you sell and it fires up 20% tomorrow, can you handle it? If not, do you have any type of exit plan whatsoever? Do you do laddering out little bits and pieces at a time? Or do you just do all in, all out, YOLO, FOMO, scared, all that kind of stuff, right? If you have no plan, I'm telling you, it's not going to go well. The people who reap the benefits and get the heart of the move are the people who buy during the panic. They buy during the boring depression. We're going to 12K. Everybody's screaming, we're going to 12K for over a year. Those people who are buying down in here and had the foresight to it get the reward of seeing it go up there. And Shib was no different. Spring phase happened in here. You can check the Twitter repost about it. I talked all about it. And then finally, it just takes a while and fires off. But when do people buy it? Here. The crowd is buying here. TVs are talking about it here. You caught the meat of the move. You nailed it. You sat through it. You sat through the trash. You got the big run up from spring, 500%. You probably didn't even nail the bottom, but if you got even somewhere in here with a DCA, 400%, that's a killer move, dude. It's a killer move, man. So congrats. You chase green candles, you'll find yourself selling red ones. That is the truth. John, member for 6 months. Thank you. Sheldon Albertson says, any interest in AI coins? No. The general AI crypto market cap is relatively low compared to the rest. And given the general investment in AI these days, I'd track to me to get long on some. No, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't need narratives. I can chase every different narrative that there possibly is out there in the world, or I can just go based on the data. It's the only things I can do for me. Super data driven, and me not wanting to care about Bitcoin has nothing to do with Bitcoin in general. It's just the data. It's just the mathematics. It's the percentages of it. I don't care about chasing whatever number these guys are at. If they're what if they're going for 120K? Because I've seen that number a lot. What if you're going for 83K? Who cares? 83K? Who cares? You see people buying Doge after it's up 400%. You got people foaming at the lips for what, 20? 15% on Bitcoin. Who cares? the things that have statistical higher odds based off of past cyclical behavior is things that have higher development activity, user bases, and growing developers. That has been it, and it has not proven any different so far. And when I wrote that article in October, now we even have the data from all of that was talked about, because in there it was well, what are the ones that are current right now? Because we pretty much have the evidence to prove this is what mattered in 2021. Here's what it looks like now. We'll see what ends up happening with them. Here's the 20 that are the highest development right now. Boom. They've outperformed the market. The ride back up here for Bitcoin back to this all-time high, it's about 100%. When I checked it yesterday, it was at 96% from when the October 30th article was written. The average return on high development activity coins is 137%, with 14 out of 20 of them outperforming Bitcoin with the higher development activity levels. When you look to the top 20 by market cap, 7 out of 20 have outperformed Bitcoin. It was actually still even way better than normal, because the top 20 by market cap is the literally worst place to go shopping for coins. It's where you don't go. It's where you go to find losers. Historically, your probabilities are way lower in the top 20. In 2021, the ones that went into all-time highs, it was only 2 out of 10. from the top 20, top 30 by market cap. But even like the ones that were not, the average return of coins that were not in the high development activity group that were in the top 20 by market cap up until yesterday have been up an average of 75%. So Bitcoin has beaten the stuff that's not in the development levels, right? So the coins that are like left over to choose from and pick from after all of this is not the stuff that has been like worked on. It's not the stuff that has all the development on it. So the coins that are there left over for the rotational play for Bitcoin into the altcoins, it's the stuff that doesn't have development. So those who grabbed the development coins early and have ridden it all the way up, they've gotten it. And I get it. That doesn't help. We got 5,000 people tuning in here. That's a lot of people, right? But a lot of people in here are like new. They're like, hey, what do I go buy? You're late. You're late. You'll have to find hopium somewhere else. This is, for me, this is much more about pulling money. And I get it. That's not the thing a YouTuber should be doing. A YouTuber should be like, hey, new people, check this out. Hey, you're going to get rich. Come watch my channel as I spill you some hopium. Here, sign up for my Discord. You got any spicy food? All right, we're going to keep going in the chat. But no, not AI, brother. The narrative doesn't matter to me. The segment of the market that it's in doesn't matter to me. It's just, is there development on it? If there's development on it, if there's activity levels happening on it, that's just, I'm a data guy, not a narrative guy. So AI narrative isn't for me. Maybe it is, dude. I mean, like I definitely, like one of the things I missed, DeFi summer. I missed it entirely. So I didn't follow the DeFi narrative of needing to buy all the coins because I didn't get it, because I didn't think a lot of the DeFi actually was DeFi. Like Celsius was marketed as DeFi. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like Celsius is during the DeFi summer stuff. Turns out I was right. Like it didn't make any sense on how that thing was turning any type of yield on any of these assets. And when I asked people, how are you getting yield? No one knew. No one knew. You should definitely take part in it. Why would you not want to earn 12% annual interest by storing your coins and doing this? I'm like, what? Where's the yield? What? Degenerate speculator. Will the alts run when Bitcoin breaks the all-time high or a correction? I think we've kind of already covered all that. You can have both scenarios. If Bitcoin distributes in here, you can have them run, or if it cracks through the high and expand and the market expands, you can have it happen in that circumstance too. So you pretty good positioning, right? That either of them happen. Doesn't mean there's not going to be some correction along the way, right? And most people, I'm telling you, these new people especially, you think you can come in here and buy Shib up 400% and not take a 50% haircut in a day? You think that's how this works? You're gonna taste it soon. You will taste what a 50% daily loss feels like at some point. Blue Striker, how high do you see XRP going if it crazy pumps? It crazy pump just 4.236 extension, which is around $9, a little over 9. Sir Lurker, would you turn your webcam on to remake the video of Bitcoin breaking $100 in 2013? Ha ha ha. And that was actually, I'm so far behind in the chat. That's a half an hour ago. That's when Bitcoin was touching its all-time high. That was 30 minutes ago. Guys, there you go. Not today. Not today. There we go. Is that it? Is that a rejection? Let the dust settle. Let those altcoins rip, man. Sir Lurker, member for 6 months. Thank you, man. Cash Me Outside, member for 10. He says, Would we be able to play Frog since we poked all-time high? Yes, this is how far behind I am. Philip Man, all Bitcoin was in profit 7 seconds there. That's right. Every single Bitcoin was in profit. Who sold? Who sold? No, I can't. The narrative, man. It's too good. All right. I watched your SupercraSY video, but there is no price target. Please enlighten us. Let's see if they get through an all-time high. I get it. People want to FOMO and all that stuff. You could figure it out. At this point, I teach you guys so much. You get like so much for free and taught for free. You can do the exact same things that I do. Julian Robbins says Bitcoin at all-time high, while top dev coins are hardly at 382. Feels more like November 2021 and taking real euphoria. How can coins hit 618 or go to all-time high? Let me see. Bitcoin all-time high, while top dev coins hardly at 382. Feels more like November 2021 taking real euphoria. Well, this is how the market behaves, right? So here's the thing how you have to understand it. And so like when I posted this yesterday and showed how there's this different dynamic happening in the altcoin market, where is it? I guess I don't have it on this screen. And this is why people don't have the ability to play the altcoin market and Bitcoin at the same time. Okay. That one comment made me know that it's still the same froth of people who are buying stuff. They don't do any of the math. They don't do any of it to understand what's happening in here. This is the run back to the all-time high for Bitcoin, and this is what's happening to the altcoin market in 2016. This is the run back to the all-time high, and this is what's happening to the altcoin market dominance in 2020. This is the run back to the all-time high, and this is what's happening to the altcoin dominance here in 2023 to 2024, right? So what does that indicate? The bottom actually happened back in June of 2023. So the first thing someone comments on there, and it gets 53 likes, it says, yeah, but Bitcoin's back at all-time high, and altcoins aren't. That's not the point of what this chart, when you comment on that type of comment on this chart, what that exactly tells me is that that person is going to chase the altcoin market very late. They're going to be the type of person who goes and chases Solana later. Why does that matter? It's because Solana is up over 1,000% off the bottom. Clearly, if you were going to buy Solana at any point, you should have already done it. And that's what all this indicates too. And that's what it shows when we look at a lot of these altcoins. And that's why the dynamic is different, is that of course it's not back to the high. Of course Bitcoin's back to the high. But where was that turning point where the flip should have happened? And it was here. And I've got all here, like out of the top development activity coins, there's 20 of them. You ready to hear how many have outperformed Bitcoin over the last 6 months? Cardano, Polkadot, Kusama, HBAR, Internet Computer, IOTA, Ethereum, Avalanche, Sui, Optimism, Solana, Near, Filecoin, Audio. All of them have outperformed Bitcoin. And it's not about like, if you always choose a place in time and you say, well, from here to here, this has been better. Yes. But from here to here, this has been better. And so what's going to happen is everybody is going to flip to altcoins, but they're flipping too late. They're going to be flipping and becoming exit liquidity later. And that's the point. The flip was a long time ago. You get what I'm saying? That's the difference happening in here. I do like you're pointing out. I don't think a lot of the altcoins are going to set new all-time highs. A lot of them are just going to retrace, but it's not about the game is. And I talk about this all the time. And again, it's the same thing I'm saying about Bitcoin. This game is not about price, ever. It is 100% about percentages. And it's math. And if you don't take the time to do the math and do the percentages, it's the same thing as the guy who sees Shib on TV today. It's the same guy who says, hey, this thing just pumped 300%. I'm going to go buy it now. They're not doing any math. They have no idea where that thing is going to. They don't know what it will take to get to a new all-time high from here. The big money was all made in the percentage move. And if you're not treating it that way and recognizing it, it's going to be the same story we see every single time in every single cycle, where people just buy the tops and they're the next generation, right? So I do challenge people to put in the work, and to not recognize this. If you just can't see this, these differences happening in here, and the dynamic difference of this market. This is the rally back to the all-time high. This is the rally back to the all-time high. This is the rally back to the all-time high. The market's different. The market's different. so something's at play. Something's at play. Where are you, Bitcoin? Look at there. Look at there. Who's leading still? Starknet, Internet Computer, Crow, and Optimism, all up over 10%. Uniswap, Aptos, and IOTA. And hey, let me say this too, because we have 4,700 people in here. You may hear me talking, and I may sound like a complete jackass and a jerk. I only talk like this to be very serious, because I've been through a lot of this stuff before. Anything I'm saying, it's coming from a genuine place in my heart. Sometimes I have to talk in very serious manners to wake people up from emotions. And this is not unusual for me to do when prices are really down and low, and the sentiment is completely toxic and it's the opposite of euphoria. I have to talk like this too. I have to be like, hey, look, wake up, man. You're being a dummy, right? Like, you're just scared because everybody else around you is scared, right? Like, there's no reason to be scared, right? But also the same thing happens when things get really high and really elevated. People then react on emotions. There's nothing, right? And so we just, again, like, even in the depths of despair, I pretty much remain emotionless. During the rises, I try to remain emotionless. And even that's still hard. There's no question. I look at my portfolio. I do the math. I'm like, damn, I could buy a lot with that. Don't want that to go bye-bye. And that's hard too, right? But still having to sit around waiting for signals and signs to show up for that altcoin market. So anyway, we won't be getting mouth wide open, pointing. Oh my gosh, look what I discovered. Click on my thumbnail type stuff here. Just try to shoot it to you straight. All right. Corey, I watched your Ethereum. Yeah, there we go. Eternal Life. We all want to know where to sell XRP safely. I don't want to end up with FOMO and miss the exit. Let us know. 4811 from India and world. What? Bro. We all want to know where's the top where we can perfectly sell it. Is that what the question is? What? I want to know where to sell it, and so I don't end up in FOMO. And I don't want to miss the exit. So make sure you tell me where to sell it, where I don't sell it too early and then have FOMO, but I also don't miss it. So please tell me exactly the top. Well, I mean, good luck, buddy. I mean, I hope we'll see. We'll see. The narrative will always, remember this, the narrative will be like this, likely. Like it is now. You're at this massive resistance for Bitcoin. You have some crazy narrative that is attached to it. It is very likely there will be one attached at that time too, where people will think you're a dummy. And you may end up selling at 7 or 8. It may end up going to 9. You may sell at 5. It may go to 7. And people will call you an idiot. You know what? It doesn't matter. Right? You win, you win. Rise Ike says, hey, BCB, if you don't really care, I know you don't really care for the paired chart, but does XRP over Ethereum on the weekly look like spring? I love your work. Yeah, we don't really pull those up. I got 5,000 people in here. Probably going to pass on that one. I mean, I was looking at it recently. I think it's hung out there at that bottom area for a week or two now. I had even swapped 8% of my F over. So, okay, here we go. I've got a tongue twister coming up here. Jordan Axelrod says, "Hey, BCB, can a BCB, can a BCBTC, can BTC be a B, and can a BCBC a B?" How did I do? Nailed it. Always. Dr. Ty, spicy BCB drives our exit liquidity away. One stream at a time. You are all late. None of you are special. That's true, right? Yeah. If you don't know the you're not special story, I guess I'll tell it a little bit. I think it's important. There's 4,700 people in here. Here we're gonna get to hear the you're not special story. And do you get excited at tops? Do you get excited when prices are rising? Do you get worried and scared when prices are going down? Well, guess what? That's because you're not special. Everybody else does it too. When I was in high school and I was taking a computer science class, I remember it. When we're kids, we always get told by our parents that we're special when we grow up. Right? Your mom tells you, your mom or your dad. Hopefully, I understand everybody's life circumstances are completely different. But if you had a luxurious life, your mom and dad probably told you were special and that you could accomplish anything you could set your mind to, and you were super special. I remember going to my computer science class and sitting down. I'm in 10th or 11th grade or something like that. And the computer science instructor says, the very first thing I want to tell all of you is you are not special. There are a million people just like you. There are marketers and marketing teams who build around marketing specifically to you and understand your psychology exactly the way you are. There's a reason why, now even to this day, right? There's a reason why all these apps are so good at targeting us, because we're not special. We are the exact same. So don't put so much so if you are feeling a particular way, or if you are wanting to react a particular way, just know or if something is happening, it's not a unique thing to your circumstance. It happens all the time. And so we can recognize these things that happen. And don't put so much pressure on yourself to think you're going to do everything perfect, but also to not fall into the traps of what everybody falls into. And we are all programmed the exact same. We are all programmed with these self-defense mechanisms within us, these fight or flight mechanisms that are built within us that protect us in most circumstances. And even not in like physical altercations or like physically leaving things, but we've learned how to avoid different emotional environments. Maybe we learn, you know what, this person's giving me bad vibes. I better not hang out with them. I better walk away. I better not, you know what, I don't like this. I'm getting out of here. All of those intuitions that we have that we think makes us special, they don't work here. They do not at all. And you have to check out from it entirely. And then you have to like learn to behave like a robot in here. So people are special in ways that there are people who are incredibly giving. There are people who commit a lot of their time when it comes to serving and like taking care of animals and like serving at like foster care or taking care of elderly people or donating to charities and just doing the right thing, making people's dinner when they're sick. Those are all special things. And that's not the stuff I'm talking about right now. But when it comes to your emotions and your behaviors here, you're not special. And recognize what it is that makes you unique to everybody. You are emotional. You want to buy when price goes up. You want to feel FOMO when price goes up. You want to panic when price goes down. And you have to fight against that. And you have to find a way around it. I don't know where I went with all that, but just this is an environment that we're in right now that can trigger a lot of those crowd emotional behaviors. And all the text messages that people are posting on Twitter, all the text messages that people are DMing to me that they are receiving of, hey, I want to buy Shib. That is the perfect example of people not being special. What is the statistical probability that everybody all at the exact same time is texting the guy they know in crypto and saying, hey, I want to buy Shib? Think about that. How is that possible that all those people could be texting that one guy in crypto that they know, and then you get everybody posting it all at the exact same time? It's because there's this crowd behavior that ends up happening, and trying to really break away from that and knowing you have to be dynamic and fluid with the crowd. You just can't run with it. You got to kind of recognize when the crowd's about to come, get in, the crowd comes in, the crowd gets euphoric, the crowd gets unrealistic expectations, and then exit and leave while the crowd is still chanting for the encore. Okay, moving on. But he's like, no, be spicy. BCB drives all of our exit liquidity away, one stream at a time. You are all late. None of you are special. Striker 2099. Take a look at the doc chart. I don't know what that is, and you could probably trying to pump a meme coin. Don't know. Come and see Jesus. BCB. What does Bitcoin run with? Dash coin. But thank you. Jack Long, BCB in 2021. In 2021, Bitcoin fell short of the 4.231 extension, given where the Dow Jones is, and the gold is, if gold is currently breaking out, do you think Bitcoin just taps the extension? I'm not going to predict that. If people have asked me that already, Jack. There's a lot of issues with Bitcoin in here. Picking an upward boundary target at this environment is different for me right now. Like if we see some expansions happening in here in this market and you see some real breakouts happening in the stock market or something like that, look at that. The Nasdaq's down 320 today. Bitcoin hits its all-time high. Nasdaq's down 320 with the Dow Jones at the 4.236 extension with gold threatening to break out right now. Not interested in chasing, you know what I mean? Not interested in like doing that. I see too many things threatening that this isn't a full-blown cycle for Bitcoin. And so picking upward targets for more, especially when we're under the all-time high. We spent 1 minute trying to poke it, 1 minute. I just don't have any interest in picking upward boundaries. I'm in the altcoin market, man, right? Like that's where I'm playing around. That's my playground. That's where I'm at. And I'm looking for signals to tell me, is Bitcoin truly in distribution? And a thing I'm really looking for right now is that I have particular coins that I am watching. And if they start to materialize, I will let you all know that we have done things that insinuates that the top is in. We have not done those things yet that I'm looking for. Doesn't mean that's not the top. But for a certain scenario I'm looking for, they haven't happened yet. But if they do, I'll relay it to you. Right? So essentially kind of looking for Bitcoin to stop and chill out for a minute in the altcoins, certain altcoins to really rally up, to give like another 100, 150% rise. That would be probably a big thing, especially like what we're talking about here. If this element started to materialize here in the market, right here. Right. And we just really start going. But until then, right? I mean, it's not like the market hasn't been doing good, right? And that's the thing, right? We shouldn't be doing that well. So, reiterating again the dominance of others. Tony says, member for 12 months, what are your thoughts on StarkNet looking like it is out of distribution after mainnet launch? Yeah, distribution or accumulation, right? First initial coin dumpers and then people accumulating it. Great pop. Again, that pop happened exactly, do I have it on here? Are you here? Here you go. The pop for StarkNet happens immediately upon 702, getting through the retracement level last night. Right when it got through the 702 retracement, you can see big pops took place. Starknet was the leader in that environment, right? So market makers maybe turned on, said, all right, we're done. We're done doing that. You can see drifting for the rest of the day so far. But maybe, right? It's a new coin. Right? And that's the thing. Like, I know, and I've been pretty clear, like, of the new coins that I've gotten, they've behaved in two different ways. SUI drifted for 6 months. TIA gave 1 week, and then it was gone. One or the other. I got a little bit of Starknet. I got more TIA than I had gotten in the beginning, but I got less SUI. Less than I got SUI in the beginning. So I don't know. Here's this question. Right? This is a brand new coin. Is that it? Like, there's just not enough data there to say, yeah. What do we have? 14 days of data. Is that it? Is it done? Don't know. But fortunately, I did get some down here. But this is definitely super ridiculous high risk with very little ability to be able to manage anything like this and know if things are breaking or not. So if you are new and you're watching this, these are conversations we've been having for weeks here on the channel. I understand a lot of people have poured in here. This is, again, one of those higher development activity coins, but it's brand new. And the brand new ones are the ones that typically have lots of volatility in them. And so it's why we're watching it brand new. It just came out 2 weeks ago. I don't have a tremendous amount of it. You could 100x this thing here. It won't change my life in any way. So I'm not sitting here encouraging you to buy it. It could definitely go horrid. So just, know that. Just answering his question. Crypto Hammer 26, member for 7 months. When members stream Dunk Tank. Well, when is the last time we did one? I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I think, didn't we do 2 in February? So it was 3 weeks ago. So I guess we got one within a week, huh? Yeah, we'll have one within a week, I guess. All right, I got to figure that out. End of the month was ridiculously busy. So I'm glad we're through the end of the month. Andy Philpott gifted 5 BCB memberships. Andy, thank you very much. Santiago Velez, thank you, man. Very, very generous, sir. Thank you. I know we've been engaging in Twitter conversations. Thank you, man. Very generous. Melvin's Noobs. When Lambo? Never Lambo. When lock money into high interest treasury yields? TH, ABCB, much love. ADA is one of your top holdings. Can you show your price exit? I've not heard you talk about it. Unlike XRP. Yeah, but top holdings in order are XRP, Ethereum, Cardano. Bitcoiners will hate it. Number 4 is Bitcoin. What's after that? I don't know. Those are the top 4. I have a lot. I got like 20 coins, right? 25 coins. In order, those 4 have been it. Cardano, we've talked about structurally very similar to that of just complete recoveries like we saw back in 2020. I'm optimistic on Cardano being able to set a new all-time high at some point as well. But if we got signal, right, so that's really the thing I'm just looking for right now. All-time high, can it do a full 4.236 extension of insanity? That's really what I'm looking for with Cardano. That's why it's one of my higher conviction plays. Same with Ethereum and XRP. But in the event that the elements arrive for Bitcoin, that could change very quickly, and that'll be the difference in this time around is really recognizing. Dang it! Every time I open up these new charts, we have to do this. Recognizing an event like that happening. And there may become a point in time where it doesn't matter on Cardano. It doesn't matter on any of the altcoins. If this environment arrives, and to remember, so I've been through 2 of these environments, by the way, guys. So when we went through the peak of 2021, you have these things happen here where the peak of the market has already come in, and then there's a retracement that happens in the market, and there's still a continued rally that actually occurs in the altcoin market for one more final leg. This is what I'm talking about when the concert's over and the crowd is chanting for the encore and thinking that it'll keep going and the show will never end. That's the encore, okay? Right here, Bitcoin falls, retraces. There's still this one more leg. That's the encore that I'm talking about at the rock show. In the event that the encore takes place, right, it doesn't really matter where a lot of the targets are. They're either short or they're hitting or they're above. If it reaches a target first, then it's a clear pull, right? If it doesn't reach it, and we're sitting here in that moment of an encore in the market, which we don't even know if we're going to get one, but if we do, it just is a crystal clear signal. And in that event, I'll still just pull. Kevin Smith says, "Are you saying PTW isn't special?" All right, Kevin, Oscar already tried this last time. Oscar got himself in timeout. Yes, PTW is very special. That's because she could do a lot of things you guys can't do. All right, Corey, I'm extremely grateful for everything you share and keep our emotions in check. Do you think there will still be opportunities in crypto after the top is in and everything starts crumbling down? Right. So like the way I think about it, right? So like whenever it gets to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm not comfortable anymore. This is pretty much, I'm going to have to pull some stuff in here. It's going to be a really tighten up of the portfolio. I'll tighten things up very tight to where I just have like 5 or 10 or something like that. Right now, I'm spread very wide, right? A big net to cast on, where is the market going to speculate and run to in an environment like this. But if we reach a point where I'm like, all right, I think that's really it. I'm going to reduce my exposure and reduce the number of coins. And it'll probably just get reduced down to, and I don't have a list yet, but like in the top of my mind, if I'm going to sit through some crud in the market, I'm probably going to sit in a Bitcoin. I'm going to sit in Ethereum, right? I'll sit in XRP. I'll probably sit in Cardano still, but just keep it much tighter and spread into, Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP rather than being spread out to a big fat laundry list. Because a lot will come, a lot will go. You definitely don't sit in meme coins. If you want any history, by the way. When the lights turn on after the show is over, you don't sit in meme coins. Everybody. I'm extremely grateful for everything you share and you keep our emotions in check. Do you think there'll still be opportunities in crypto after the top is in and everything starts crumbling down? Typically not. Typically it's a deleveraging event that occurs in markets. Mr. Potsy. I think your audience, including me, would appreciate a benefit how to set up a basic exit strategy, maybe a member video. Yeah, we'll see. The thing I try to teach you guys all how to do is all this stuff. I've got a course out there that teaches you how to draw your charts, teach you all the different stuff in there. Like you literally can try to build something based on everything you have here on BC Backer. You literally go through all the charts and see all these dynamics, and we talk about these things. Bitcoin and altcoin dominant swings, right? Bitcoin versus the stock market and the halving, right? People think, oh yeah, it's so surprising. This video was recorded a long time ago. And I say a long time ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, Bitcoin stock market halving. Halving's nonsense. That's been the case since the beginning. So when are alt seasons happening? Lessons learned from 2017 to 2021, Bitcoin and altcoin dominant swings, and when do those things all happen? So really, it has to be more than just like, hey, I'm picking this target and here's why. You have to understand all these fluid dynamics throughout the entire market. And I guarantee this whole thing that I'm talking about right here, this is over the head of 90% of people. 90% of people don't get what all that means right there. But people who have put the time and effort into the market say, wow. That's bizarre. That's wild. Because that doesn't normally happen. And it's been one of those reasons I've been screaming about, retracement, altcoins, all that stuff during, the last year and a half. Something didn't smell right about the whole Bitcoin's the show-stopping event. The percentage returns in the market will show it, and the dominance shows it, that it is behaving differently. So anyhow, we'll see. We'll see. And you can go through all the videos. You see me do all this different stuff and studying these things. Right? Just BCB the GOAT. Thank you for all of your work. Says Leffens, man. Thank you very much for generous. Thank you. And Corey, thank you. It was generous too. And thank you, Mr. Potsy. Joseph Wiley says, as fibs on the market cap are more accurate than price, is something similar apply to S&P? Okay, I don't know what this is. Let me see if you are trying to put a low market cap coin onto the channel and get it pumping, dumped on people. Don't know what it is. I don't even see a ranking on this thing. It must be pumping down. I don't know. I don't know what that is, dude. Crappy Guru says, hey, BCB, name 3 coins besides XRP and Cardano that could have a potential to run in the next few days. Dude, you are living in the moment, man. You are degening in the actual moment. If the next few days, yeah. I mean, pretty much anything. Anything can have its little moment here in the next few days. What is the next Stark, OP, ICP? They all obviously had their day today, right? Who's going to be the ones tomorrow? Noah says, do you think you see a 2021 type alt season sometime this year? Yeah. Yeah, like in the months ahead. And then it's lights out for everything. And then it's lights out for everything. Scary. Scary, scary. NASDAQ down 318. Dow down 239. Tesla down 5% after being down 7% yesterday. B says, wow, I'm awake while you're live. Keep it up, BCB. I love all your content. By the way, my wife officially dances to your Wednesday song. I need more of it. To the moon. Love you, man. Well, tomorrow's Wednesday. So tomorrow's our fun day. I try to tame down the spiciness on Wednesdays. Try to be the more fun guy. And also all the people who tune in and want it to be like super serious on that day. Like you don't get that. But tomorrow's our fun day. Oh, you mean the S&P, the Standard & Poor's 500, with an increase of dollar supply being an increased market cap. Let me go back and read you, buddy. Sorry, Joseph. Because there is an S&P coin. I'm like, what the heck is this? Yeah, I don't know. Is there a chart where you can chart the market cap of the S&P? I have to look that up. Right, because everything's weighted, right, in those indexes. But there we go. B, welcome. Glad you're awake. Guys, I hope you're all doing well. Looks like Bitcoin, no es bueno. No es bueno. On the all-time high. It said not today, senors, not today. So we'll check in on it again tomorrow. Still, your leaders today are Stark, OP, ICP, Crow, Uniswap, and IOTA. Otherwise, we'll check on it tomorrow. We'll have a good time. I hope that you guys are doing well. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you're looking for something to do, of course, check out my newsletters. You can learn all about the stuff that I'm talking about with these dynamics of gold, the stock market, and Bitcoin. while I am not like a moon boy when it comes to Bitcoin, it has nothing to do with hating Bitcoin. It comes to saying, look, there's a lot of stuff that is different. I'm not going to sit here and ignore them until something can prove it otherwise. I read all about this. I also was talking about all those development activity coins and all that stuff is, all the research of the market that I've actually ended up doing. There you go. Brandon, what the heck, man? I'm in spam. You can check all this out over here on Substack in here. Check out that stuff and all that research I've done on 2021 and help understand how the market has worked in the past, how 2021 was different from 2017. You can check it out, of course, bcbacker.com. Check out all these videos that teach you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators in TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. Right here, bcbacker.com. Right here, blockchainbacker.substack.com. There are links in the descriptions of this video, and I just posted them in the chat. Otherwise, have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll check you all again tomorrow on Wednesday, my dudes. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.